Flutterwave, Paystack. These are $2 billion tech startups straight out of Africa, one even being a unicorn. But wait, there's more. In January 2022, Warner Music Group announced the majority acquisition of Africori, the #1 destination for independent African artists and labels from across the continent and the diaspora. The future is bright on the continent this decade, and we are only getting started. Africa is quickly becoming a space for venture capitalists, investors from the Far East, and for entrepreneurs to rush to. Thanks to the pandemic, innovation in the digital and creative economy has been accelerated, and everyone around the world is now witnessing the potential that Africa has had all along, especially in the wake of this decade. Africa's creative economy, which includes music, film, art, fashion, culture artifacts, apps, you name it, is not only creating wealth for the creators, but ironically is also contributing to the GDP of even their own home nations. Alright? So, the question is Africa the next startup superpower? This is the idea that we are going to explore in this particular episode. But let's take a look at some interesting facts. Tech startup funding is growing now at a rate of 6 times faster than the local average. So that's $4.9 billion raised in 2021 in Africa. The digital economy will contribute over $300 billion to African GDP, that's gross domestic product, by 2025. In Nigeria, the technology sector contributed more to the country's GDP than oil and gas between 2010 and 2019. Can you imagine that? Kenya's ICT sector was on course to contribute 8% of the country's GDP through IT-enabled services, generating up to 250,000 jobs by the end of 2021. Amazing stuff. The African Continental Free Trade Area could also play a role in African tech startups receiving funding of more than $90 billion by 2030. This is a critical decade. Let's continue. 230 million jobs across Africa will require digital skills by 2030. In May 2019, the Central Bank of Nigeria, along with the Bankers Committee, announced a 22 billion naira fund for entrepreneurs and investors in the creative and IT sectors. Now, Casting Africa, a platform launched by Ghanaian entrepreneur and industry professional Kwasi Bosiako Antwi, is helping identify talent from across the continent. The MasterCard Foundation has partnered with Kisia, a leading African fashion brand, to create Anansi, an e-commerce platform that connects African designers with local and international consumers by simplifying inventory payments and logistics using technology. We'll have some of these links in the show notes just for you guys to know. From all of these statistics and these facts, we can identify what Africa needs to get to that next level and become an established tech superpower like the USA. So, what does Africa actually need to get to that next level? Well, in Africa, we need tech ecosystems that can drive economic growth. So, we're talking strong tech ecosystems such as schools, universities, strong developer communities, accelerators, incubators, tech-focused startups and established businesses. All of these things simulate the economy when working together. We need to also bridge the skills gap. Now, more than 60% of African CEOs have said the skills gap is holding back innovation. 45% of young Africans believe their skills aren't sufficient for their jobs. African nations must also contribute creatively to the digital economy and not just consume. Now, a vibrant tech sector will create more jobs and help to kiss the pandemic goodbye. We also need to establish a public data sharing platform. Now, there is a lack of useful data in Africa accessible to businesses and professionals. Creating a public database on African startups can help to add more transparency and insights to the creative digital sector in Africa. Now, what else does Africa need to hit its full potential in the world of tech and the creative economy? Is Mother Africa ready to take the big stage? With the likes of mobile money being an enabler of exchanging money for value, that is arts and crafts or products or services, and with the rise of other fintech creations, we could well be on our way to witnessing just that. Well, that's all for today's episode. Let me know your thoughts. You can tweet us, send us a tweet at The Sound of Accra on Twitter, or get in touch on Instagram at The Sound of Accra. Kindly leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. This does help to get this content out to other people who would love to take advantage of it. Now, if you've listened to the end, you've been absolutely incredible. I've been Adrian Daniels, and until next time, I'll catch you again on another episode of Podbites, hopefully. Cheers.